think 200 ton or so around the farm, 220 ton, something like that, 11 loads, 20 ton, yeah. There's 8 bearings there and they're probably all gone. There's one shaft which is worn, which will need replaced. Got some more information on the tractor. 1200's here. Actually, I'll just park up here because I don't want to take this into the field, get it stuck. I don't have the embarrassment of walking all the way back and getting those boys to pull me back out again. Hello, welcome to this week's video. This week, today's video is a bit of a mixed match of things, I think. We have, well, I want to do a bit of an update on the shed because you haven't seen that lately, and also do a bit of an update on the 1200. I'm going to go out across the fields, have a look at some drainage that we did, and what else? A few other things. So yeah, that's going to be today's video. Not as much action packed as last week, but yeah, that's just the way it is today. So before we go up and have a look at the shed and get an update on that, thank you to everyone who liked, subscribed and commented on last week's video. I really do appreciate the support that you guys are giving the channel. Thank you for that. I will continue to say it. I love to hear from you, and if you do have something to say, or you just want to say hello, or whatever you like, drop me a comment. I love picking that up on a Sunday night after the video goes up. So yeah, so that's that. Right, let's jump into the video and get an update on where the shed is. Right, I'm inside where the shed will be once the roof goes on, of course. And as you can see, a fair bit of work went on when I wasn't here. So they've got, oh, I don't know how many, I think there's 200 and just over 200 ton of this, we call it broken rock or rotten rocks. You guys might call it crushed rock. I don't know what it is, but it's really good fill material. And this is what we put in here and in the other areas. So there's something like, I think 200 ton or so around the farm, 220 ton, something like that, 11 loads, 20 ton, yeah. So that's gone in, and that's the base ready for, well, construction. The next stage of construction, I should say. This week coming, the contractor will be here. The shed is being delivered this week. When I say about the shed, I'm talking about the tin, timber and steel. And then the contractor will be here straight after that to start erecting that bit of it. So I wanted to let you see that before we start that construction. I'll spin the camera around and we'll get a little bit of a better look at it, but that's the base going in now, and that is a super job. Right, there you go. Now you can see it a bit better without me waffling in the middle of the picture. That is about 200 mil, I think, below floor level, and that is a super job that they've done there. Yeah, so you remember way earlier on I mentioned about keeping the height of the wall down. So yeah, we put in more tin and less concrete because it's cheaper. So there you go, that is inside the shed. Let's go look at outside the shed. Right, you remember up here we had the ramp and we had to put the bales in with the digger because this was a huge void. Well, no longer. Also filled in with the rock to form a nice level actually, and somewhere we can actually put some bales. Use this space now. I did mention previously, just noticed someone has clipped the edge of the concrete. Anyway, at least it didn't crack the wall. That would have been a bit of a disaster. So the plan for here, not this year of course, is to extend this roof on out because we have now the concrete, and wouldn't be hard to do. It would be open fronted, it wouldn't be closed in, but it'd be a great space for putting the crush up or having some storage, maybe even some calving pens or something. Who knows? It would be useful for something. Sometime maybe next year that'll happen, but for now that's it, finished. Going to do no more with that now. That's it, done. Oh, there is one thing to do. Need to put a barrier over here. I'll show you that. Yeah, so bit of a barrier needed here, just to well, stop any animals from going over the edge there. Yeah, we need to put some sort of barrier up, probably a metal one. The steel work is there to weld into it, so that'll happen very shortly. That's the that low area from the bottom side. So you can see that's quite a drop down there. That's maybe 8 feet, something like that. So we do need a barrier up there, and we need to get that done before the animals go out. Because actually, not just for animals, yourself could, you know, step back there. It's a bit of a health and safety hazard, so that needs to get sorted. I did think this would be a great place to drive the evil wool over into a fiery pit, but yeah, maybe not. I joke, of course. Let's go see the back side of the shed, because we did some work there as well. Right, down the side is all nicely leveled now. Still have that pile there to go in somewhere. I don't know where that's going. Oh, probably up there. So yeah, so that's all nicely leveled in there now. You remember we did the drain, was in here, so that's in, and that's it, probably finished. Oh, a little bit to do here, forgot about this bit. So a few stones to fill in here, but that'll be that done. Let's have a look in the back. There we go. In the back of the shed is also done, filled in. Excellent job. And that's in there forever and amen. Those of you who've been following the channel from the start, when we started digging this out, I'll know that this area is another area that we've earmarked for a little construction project. It was due to get done along with this, but it just wasn't feasible because we had to raise the concrete here and fill all this in, and to dig them out at the same time just was a bit risky. So the plan now is finish this whole shed, then move on to this. It's not hard to do here. A little bit of a wall here needed. A little bit of a wall along here, the front here, and the wall's already there, some timber and tin. So it's half up if you like, but it's a great little space there. Possible to allow for calves to creep through from the cubicle house, which is right behind me. We don't know yet, but it will be done in the next, hopefully in the next 6 months, is to start this bit, after finishing this bit. But yeah, machinery could go in there, of course, or it could be an extension to the cubicle house to allow for, as I say, a little creep for calves, or maybe the evil wool would make a guest appearance in here. I don't know, hopefully not. Yeah, that's going to get done. But as I say, bit of work to clear this whole space out, as you can see, as usual, but we'll get there, That is the shed update done. Now, I didn't mention at the start of the video, but I want to go and look at a couple of machines that are stuck in the hedge up here. I did say in a previous video, or did do a previous video, I think it was called Hedgerow Machinery, Save It, Sell It or Scrap It, and some of those machines were earmarked for scrap, or at least one of them was earmarked for scrap or going to the old auction. Now, things have slightly changed since that video. We do now have the 1200, which we're going to go down and have a look at shortly. And one of those machines that was earmarked to go would now complement the 1200. I do have a couple of events in the summer, and I'm kind of gearing up now with what machines I might bring to those events. There's a local event here, just a tractor show thing, but I don't want to take the 1200 along with a Ferguson 2/4 plough on the back of it. Look a bit daft. So I have a couple of machines up here that I think will be ideal. One of them, as I said, I had earmarked to go, but I've since found a chap in England who has a lot of spare parts for it. So I'm now going to have a look at it, see what it needs, see what it'll take to fix it, because he's given me a price for each part, second-hand parts of course, and if it's feasible we'll keep it and we'll order up the parts and fix it. So let's go take a look at the two machines. You've probably seen them before. We'll get another look at them. Right, you remember this Massey Ferguson 24 disc harrow. I did say previously that I would probably end up selling this because it wasn't feasible to fix it. I'll show you what's wrong with it in a minute. But it was going to take too much to fix it. So in my mind, it'd be easier just to sell it off for spare parts and get one, not that I need it anyway, but get one that would be functional. To buy one of these functional, it's about £750, maybe £1,000, something like that's what they're going for at the moment, roughly. This old bus, it's just scrap value really. However, if I can fix it, then it's not scrap value and it's a machine that would probably look good on the back of the 1200. Just take a little look at it, see what's wrong with it, and then I'll tell you what we need to fix it. Right, as you can see down here very clearly that the bearings are absolutely shot on this, and I think the bearing holder itself, although I can see the bearing, so that bearing holder might be okay. I think that bearing holder is okay, but the bearing's definitely gone in it. It's also gone, I think that one's gone as well. You nearly need to lift this out to kind of, well, there's one gone in the back, that bearing's gone in the back as well, so there's two, there's one there, it's even twisted, so that isn't doing a job, so there's three. Yeah, it's probably going to be a hole. It's so wet here, my feet are sticking. Yeah, there's a bearing holder there as well. I think the back might be. But we need all new bearings, that's for sure. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 bearings. Now the axle is worn on this one, I think. It's too wet to get up into the field to lift it, but to be honest, it's kind of hard to see here just what sort of condition it's in, but there's 8 bearings there and they're probably all gone. There's one shaft which is worn, which will need replaced, and there's a broken disc, I need a new disc for it, or weld up the old one, wherever it is. And I think one of the bearing holders is worn, so that probably need a new bearing holder. So it can be fixed, for less than it would take to buy a new one. Not a new one, a second-hand one. That's done what they're selling on eBay now at, say, £750, £800, £1,000, whatever. So it certainly can be fixed for a lot cheaper than that. So I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to fix it. So it's not going anywhere now. Was going somewhere, no it's not. I just need to measure the length of the axle, because there's 2 different lengths. Never knew that. So yeah, measure that. I'll have to find a measuring tape in here somewhere. So measure that, and then I'll order up the parts, and that'll be one machine that hopefully won't be. I don't think it's going to be too hard to fix it. Famous last words, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so that's that one. Let's go look at the other one. Right, you may remember this one. This is a Massey Ferguson 39 spring-tine grubber, and it's very windy. Hopefully you can hear me. Sorry about the wind. Yeah, or otherwise known as a Clonskildy Triple K spring-tine grubber. Either way, same thing. It's made by Clonskildy, but done under a Massey put their badge on it, but it's the same thing. Anyway, this is a machine that there's actually brochures, I've seen brochures where this machine is on the back of a 1200, and so this is definitely going to be staying here, and we'll need a wee bit of work. There's a few feet missing off it. You can see here, there's no foot there. I do have the feet for this. As I said in the previous video, I managed to get some feet for it, so I'm going to put that together. This machine would be much easier to get going than that one. So I'm thinking this is probably a machine that will be going on the back of the 1200 for shows and that type of thing. Although I want that other one going as well. But yeah, this one would be not hard to get going. Little work required. I would like to paint it. It's not supposed to be grey. It's supposed to be red. Also, I'll flick the camera and I'll explain it better when I flick the camera. Right. Also, this, see here, this machine had a section that folded down and folded that way. It's missing. There's where it would have rested on there and rested on there, as you can see, but that has long since vanished. There's the missing toe. So yeah, that's long since vanished, and that would have widened that machine out. I don't know what, that an extra couple of feet maybe. I think that's about 9 feet. Would have made it, what's that, 13, 14 feet would have been the working width of it. I haven't seen any on eBay or on the old interweb that have the fold down section. They've all been this. They're probably broken and fallen away and, you know, fell off. I don't know, but this is normally what you get when you get a 39 grubber. Yeah, so that's going to be staying, and I say that's easy. That's an easy one to fix up, as opposed to the old disc car. Right, I've got to go and awaken the slumbering giant. That is the 1200. What I want to do here is I've got some more information on the tractor. 1200's here, and I wanted to check, double check my serial number, because I think I've got some information that now gives me the year of this tractor. I believe this tractor is now early 1975 based on the serial number. We'll have a little look at that. And I also wanted to check in the back here where the back end of the tractor, because a few people have commented and said they thought that was a 595 back end on this tractor, which wouldn't be original, of course. So go and have a look at that. Take a couple of pictures. I know from a few people have sent me photographs of what a 595 back end looks like and what a standard 1200 back end looks like, which is basically a back end from a 1 series, or a 100 series I should say. And very slight difference. You know, a blind man and a galloping horse wouldn't be able to tell, but I don't know. You know, I don't know enough about these things. I'm just the pilot, you know. The people who do know a lot more. So I'm going to check, and we'll see what's in the back, and check the serial number. Now, one thing is, this tractor is now going to be, I mean, I spent a lot of time putting it in here. There's a few videos back, you saw me redding up here and whatever, and trying to drive it in here. Made a bad job of it, got it in the end. But I have to dig it back out again, because I've just been chatting to the mechanic. He's told me, get it up to him. He's got a bit of space. So it's going to be going on the low loader this week, I think. All been well. I'm waiting on parts coming from Massey Dave. He's got a whole box of stuff for me. Yeah, which reminds me, anybody who's watching the channel has one of these 1200s or 1250, and Massey Dave over there in Massey 1200 HQ is collecting serial numbers and locations for these tractors. What they're doing is they are trying to put together a list of all the tractors that remain, and there's not that many, there's a few of course, but there's only 2,300 of these made, something like 300 1250s, So he's trying to put together a register of what's left. So if you know of one or have one, send your information to Massey Dave. I'll put his email address down the bottom here. You can see that. Send it over to him, and he will happily receive that and put it on his register. So that's that. Let's go take a look and see what sort of back end we have on this tractor. Right, here I'm in the back of the 1200. Right in the back of the 1200. What I'm told is, I don't know if it's right or not, but I believe it is, that, let me get this light in here somewhere. Yeah, that this here, that this is a 595 back end if the studs screw in, and it's a 1200 back end if there's nuts. So if it comes through with bolts and nuts, and it comes through with bolts and nuts. So I'm happy to say that that seems to be a 1200 back end and not a 595 back end, which probably would make a wide difference. A 595 back end would probably be a little bit stronger, but anyway, so that's that. Right, there we go. That I think that solves that. I think that's a 1200 back end. Now the trumpets could be 595, I don't know, but certainly the back end seems to be 1200. The original 1200 back end. Close the door here. The low loaders come for this tomorrow, hopefully. So we'll get it on the low loader and get it sent up to the mechanic. That'll be a separate thing. I'm going to go out now and look at the drainage that I said at the start of the video right across the fields. Let's go take a look at that. Right, so we're heading out across the fields here to have a look at a drain. We're always putting in drains in this place, but I'm going to have a look at a drain that Dad's put in when I was away there, so I just want to have a look at it. This field was never really wet, and I think with last year being one of the wettest years on record, the drain has been overwhelmed, and a lot of the water's been running off the field and just lying there, and it's just been such a mess. I did a baling video way back in the summer. It was wet then, and it just got wetter and wetter and wetter. So I'm going to go out and have a look at it, see what he's done. Actually, I'll just park up here because I don't want to take this into the field, get it stuck. I don't have the embarrassment of walking all the way back and getting those boys to pull me back out again. So I'll just leave it here on the hardcore, and yeah, then it won't get stuck. Let's go take a look at the drain. Right, you can see behind me here how wet this area is, and what happens is, I'll just spin around here, all the water comes from way up there, comes all the way down. It's supposed to catch a drain here and go off, but it doesn't. This drain here has blocked or been damaged, I don't know. And it's just running down the field, making an absolute mess of the field, and it's soaked the field. This is one of our fields that we would use for lambing the sheep in, and if it didn't dry it out, my God, what would it not be like? It is like a little swamp here. Let me just show you my feet. How wet is that? So what we've done is, I'll spin the camera around. We dug this trench, that's what you call a trench, and it's catching the water. You can see it there, coming off the field, channeling it down and into the drain until such times as we can get in and get that fixed in there. That's an absolute swamp in there. Well, yeah, that's what's happening here. Off it goes. And into the burn. Good job. I'm not even going to attempt to walk across this because it's just so wet, but just give you an idea. I think you saw it from my feet earlier, but look at this. Going in out of sight. Holy smokes. Right, anyway. I think someone's had that was the digger was there, I think. Yeah. Anyway, that's a bit of update on that. Big drain project coming up here. Maybe in the spring of the year. We'll see. Right, I better shut this gate up because there's one sure thing about the evil wool. Is that if you leave a gate open by accident, they will definitely go through it. If you leave a gate open and you want them to go through it, you definitely won't go through it. Gate closed. Right folks, that is the end of the video. I am back down where I started off, and you saw a little bit of an update on what was going on. I wanted to do that ahead of this week because we know there's big construction starting here. So yeah, so that's done. And the machines we had to look at as well. Hopefully we'll get them dug out when whenever the ground hardens up a little bit. Give it a month or two. And we'll start refurbing those and getting those ready for some of the events in the summer. So yeah, so that's the video. Thank you to everyone for watching, liking and subscribing. Please, if you're enjoying the videos, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It is of course free. That's it for this week. Take care. Bye bye.